the second week of our series Advent. We did not have a small group review last week because it was the launch of our small groups. However, this week, winter is here. Winter is hither. Like spring is sprung. Winter is here. I'm so excited to be leading and hosting our small group discussion. I'm joined by the one and only Joshua Brown, and we're talking about the message of the wonderful counselor. So I got a question here for you, Josh. It's actually one of the small group questions you guys may be asking yourselves, but the question here is, when you close your eyes and picture God, what does he look like? What about Jesus? Is it sometimes tough to picture Jesus as both gentle and mighty? So let's go back to the first question. When you close your eyes and picture God, what does he look like?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I never really put much of a picture of God because I did grow up thinking he was kind of spirit, right? But I did also grow up seeing, a white dude for Jesus, like with blue eyes. Basically, Elliot was what Jesus looked like, and that's just not accurate at all. And so, getting older and stuff and learning more about, the truth behind the Bible and where kind of this whole story is taking place, I have a completely different picture now than I think I had growing up, for sure.
Yeah, I think especially over the last 20 years, there's been a lot of different studies shown of like rabbis around the time and just the culture and how like digital reconstruction based on, rabbis at the time. And you've seen the one where it's like the big nose where it's just like, it looks broken, which isn't accurate because a bone was never broken on Jesus. But anyways.
Sure.
So God was kind of just always this kind of spiritual being for you and understanding. Did you ever like just think of him as like the universe itself? Like, was there ever that kind of like Eastern belief that you kind of held when you thought of God? You just thought of like the stars, or?
Yeah, I mean a little bit bigger and larger than life for sure. Because for him to be able to create the universe, he probably has to be bigger than it.
Yeah.
And intelligent enough and personal enough to create it and create us. And so I think that really big picture of God can be scary. And I think, paired up with maybe like the angry man in the sky, it can be kind of hard to comprehend God. But I think that what this series is helping us see and understand is that God made a choice to bring himself to the planet and make him even more personal than he was before.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really the story of Jesus. What we're unpacking is that God isn't just so universal and so large and so I guess for lack of a better term, heavenly, but he's also personal, and he decided to show up and show out for us, and we'll talk about more of that probably in Easter, but it's a good series we're in.
Yeah, goes back to him being more personal, like Emmanuel, God with us. It actually kind of ties into this verse here in 2 Corinthians. It says, each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." That's a personal moment, is that weakness. "So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me." So the question here that kind of follows it up is, in a country that values rugged individualism, it can be really tough to take pleasure in our weaknesses. How does the strength of God make it easier to deal with those weaknesses?
Yeah, I think there's one side of that I think we all have those weaknesses, and some of that is, we say it's individualism, like you said. We say that it's uniqueness and kind of like that Enneagram 4 kind of thing going on. But at the same time, I think we have weaknesses, and it forces us, I think, to rely on God. And I think and again, what this whole series is about is really Jesus stepping in and almost becoming vulnerable as a person in a body, and intimately and way more personal and relatable. And so I think for us, Jesus paints a picture, an easier picture, I think, of our goal and our aim and what we're heading towards, and heading towards the image of Christ. And so I think all these weaknesses we have, I thank God that he decided to send Jesus, as his son to die for us and kind of give us that example to set for and aim for.
Yeah, a God that's bigger than the universe himself.
Right.
Like, just came down and brought himself here to be closer to us. So thank you guys so much for joining us for our small group review. Thank you so much, Joshua, for being with me this week.
For sure.
Be sure to tune in next week and enjoy your guys' small group discussion.